green governance. A lot has been said throughout the day. It has been established how Sikkim is first fully organic state in the country. It has pioneered sustainable forestry. A lot more on this will be discussed in this session on how the state has achieved this, the impact it has had on the ground, and the roadmap ahead. Please welcome on stage Pradeep Kumar, Forest Secretary, Sikkim, Dr. S. Anbalagan, CEO, Sikkim Organic Farming Development Agency, Buddha Singh Subha, Kiwi Man, Swapan Mehra, founder and CEO, Iora Ecological. Moderating this session is Anilesh Mahajan, Deputy Editor, India Today. Welcome, everyone. Anilesh, over to you now.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There is always advantage and disadvantage of moderating a last session. The interest levels either can be very high or could dip a bit. So there is no fault of mine. It's no job of yours to make it more interesting. Although this is a very interesting subject, and I always remain interested in agriculture. Sikkim is a example for the entire country how to not only be organic but also to stay organic. We have already seen that Sri Lanka tried it, and they not only agriculture collapsed but their economy also collapsed. I understand economy has a lot of dimensions, Pradeep Kumarji, but if we see the ecology of Sikkim, despite opting for organic farming and natural farming, Sikkim's area under forest is constantly either remaining stable, but CM Saab today told us that it's actually increasing. So it's a double, it's a very complex thing. Help us in understanding what secret sauce do you use where you are increasing not only the organic and natural farming, but also expanding your areas under forest. Pradeep ji, mic is yours.
Thank you so much. You put it very succinctly. So what I'll do is, just to get a perspective, I'll start from something which is just the opposite. So maybe I'll not talk about the forest and environment first. I'll talk about something which is thought to be just opposite. As my previous speakers have already said, Sikkim is one of the fastest growing economy. Sikkim has one of the highest per capita income in the country. Sikkim has the lowest infant mortality rate in the country. So if these are the things, if you tell to somebody, one of the image which will conjure up in the mind is, it must be really a very polluted city. A lot of development going on. Lot of deforestation must be going on. And that is where Sikkim busts that myth. As you said, how is that possible? As my previous speakers have said, Sikkim is just 0.2% of the geographical area of India. It harbors around 26% of biodiversity of India. It is one of the biodiversity hotspot. As you yourself said, Sikkim is one of the very few states in that part of India where Sikkim has shown the increase in forest cover. Sikkim is a state which has the second highest, what you call the carbon density in India. So you must be wondering, as you said, what is that secret sauce, as you said, for making this possible? The secret sauce lies in the innovative green governance of Sikkim. As Professor Lama had said, few things. That is where the secret sauce lies. If the time permits, maybe I'll explain few points, but in the first round, I can just say there are few innovative programs, as Honorable Chief Minister himself said. The program like Mero Rukh Mero Santati, they have no parallel anywhere, not just in India, but across the globe. programs like Mero Bar to Mero Boat, My Road, My Plant, My Child from Wild. You can go and adopt a child from wild, that is, you can even adopt a wild animal. You have programs like many other programs. If I start narrating, this will be a long list, but maybe in the second round, I would like to explain one or two programs where you will actually get that essence and, as you said, the secret sauce for doing this thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. As I proceed further, Mr. Anvalam, between you and Budh Singh ji, I want to understand. There is a common perception that if we consider organic farming, there are certain things which comes to any entrepreneur's mind is how will I get the access to the real market? How will uh, I will get the real price, whether that price discovery is correct or not. How is your state agency helping these entrepreneurs like Budh Singh ji to not only reach the correct market but also in the price discovery?
Yeah, thank you. Before answering your question, I would tell that this is part of what we have done till date, is that earlier we have been concentrating on the production side policies. We wanted to become organic, and we concentrated on becoming organic through certifications. So now comes to your question, is that now we have shifted focus from the production side policy to the marketing side policy. So this is where we are intervening as a government. We have done with the the certification part. Now we have to concentrate on marketing the organic commodities. So this is where we have started creating infrastructural facilities, institutional mechanisms, as well as our marketing strategies. So there's no dearth of market in the domestic sector as well as the international sector. So the market is huge. There's huge potential. It's just about linking the producers with the buyers. So this is what we are doing now. And when it comes to the pricing, buyers are willing to pay more for the organic commodities, and it's just matter of plugging the gaps. It's like fixing the jigsaw puzzle. So that is where we are working on.
Budh Singh ji, if I can come to you as a bureaucrat, he has already listed, what the government is doing. But we all hear a lot of stories about you and the efforts you have made in growing the organic kiwis, and it's not limited to. I can tell you that it's your stories are not only limited to Sikkim's boundaries, but people, farmers and horticulturists in Uttarakhand and in Himachal also cite your examples. So in a way, you are a national figure. Help us in understanding that still when the government is pushing organic farming, and it's almost now 9 years that organic wave is going through in Sikkim, what sort of challenges you still feel in searching the the best markets for your produce and in the price discoveries?
First of all, I heartily thanks to India Today groups, use rounds of applause for the India's group media. Media is one of the backbone of the country and a backbone of the state. That's why we are getting fantastic opportunity to disclose our ideas. Just sharing my ideas. I am newly recognized. I am Kiwi man of the Sikkim. I'm Kiwi man of Sikkim. Just I getting the appreciation letter from Honorable Minister Puran Gurung's hands from. And before I
Sir, you can also take my endorsement. I can tell you, I track this sector.
yeah.
You can take this endorsement that you are not Kiwi man of Sikkim, you are Kiwi man of India.
Thank you, sir.
Your stories have been told in
hardly-
Himachal, Uttarakhand, and other parts where kiwi is grown.
Yeah, I hardly try to make it the Kiwi men of the all over the countries. I have to. Just last year and 2024, and that is called December 5th to December 7th. I have to attend my international cell exhibition near Delhi, and this is the Yasubhumi sector number 25. I have to attend it. That opportunity also given me the government of Sikkim. I heartily thank you so much, our honorable dynamic chief minister, government of Sikkim, Sriman Prem Singh Tamangji. He is a very dynamic leader, our small state. Now he is encouraging every sector of farmers, and the farmers, just people know, just government of India, Narendra Modi ji is also looking after the farmers. Pen. I heartily thank
Bhutsing ji,
to the
if I
Narendra
can bring
Modi
you,
ji also.
if I can bring you back to the earth,
Yes, sir.
help us in understanding the challenges which many of your peers are facing, not only in Sikkim, because this will help policymakers like Pradeep ji and Annagalam ji, how those challenges can be addressed.
Yeah, challenges is the kiwi product, kiwi when we are cultivating, there is no challenges. Without this, kiwi is growing up. Because sometime where April and May season is, there is some problem of the hailstone. When that is the Almighty God is known very well, and we have to pray with the God, and that to stop to the hailstone. That is much only. But kiwi is very, sir, when I'm talking about with the kiwi, this I need more time, about the 1 hour. But now is no time, because kiwi is very, 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 very potential for the human life. Kiwi fruit is the king of the fruit. From we get full of the nutrient from kiwi fruit. Kiwi, we got vitamins from kiwi: vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin E, folate and potassium vitamins getting from the kiwi. That's why we have to eat yearly. Anyhow, we have to kiwi. How much price is high? Then that is the no problem. But our health is a much problem. Health sector is very good for the kiwi. And if we are taking them lots of the
So more than farmer, you are talking like a marketing professional now.
Yeah.
So may I now move to Sopan?
I'm taking a little bit time, sir. Sorry to speak more. But kiwi.
Sir,
kiwi,
my question is still there. What is your challenge?
Yeah, challenge is just a little bit marketing problem. A little bit I have to solve. I am luckily is there in the I am a man tourist best camp. My place is very all over the countries coming at my farm, and sir also visiting my kiwi farm. That's
Thank you, Bhutsing ji. Now let me move to Swapan. Let me ask him question. I'll come back to you.
Okay,
Swapan,
sir.
thank you.
Sorry,
Swapan,
I'm taking more time, sir.
if I talk from the climate resilience point, the carbon accounting perspective, if we bring in, how do you rate Sikkim's performance, there? And plus, help us in understanding that ecologically, those database which you also develop at IORA, how does that help various governments, and how that can also help Sikkim?
Thank you. Firstly, thank you very much to India Today for organizing this very critical dialogue. And it's very opportune to greet all of you on the World Biodiversity Day. Today is the World Biodiversity Day, and the fact that we are celebrating it by celebrating Sikkim, which is actually a great role model for biodiversity conservation, is a great honor. So at IORA, we've had the privilege of working with Sikkim, the Sikkim Forest Department, for close to a decade, in which we've helped design a state-level conservation project, forest conservation project, which can benefit from carbon, and also do analysis on what has happened to the forest of the states for a decade. So Sikkim's forests and Sikkim as a state, firstly, embodies the whole idea and spirit of what we now call agroecological management of habitats, in which forests agriculture, and other ecosystems are seen as contiguous flows benefiting from each other. Sikkim has been able to sustain its forest cover almost intact for close to a decade, almost no change. And it's also one of the few states where the density, the moderate and high dense forests are more than 50% of the overall forest. Sikkim's forests are slated to approximately sequester about 3 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. Now, while that is not in gross numbers of massive contribution to India's national emissions, which is 3 billion tons a year, given the land mass of Sikkim and a per hectare basis, it shows what is possible if we are able to proactively manage forests in a better way. Sikkim's agriculture sector, 76,000 hectares, which have been converted to organic farming, annually avoid the emission of 500,000 tons of carbon, which would have otherwise been emitted if they use fertilizers and if the soil was not nourished through composting, etc. What this means is that in a very small state, which is probably less than 1% of India's geography, we are able to address about 1.5% of India's emissions, which actually is a great representation of the fact that it is possible to have conservation be a competitive advantage and not always a cost. Having said that, now there are some opportunities that Sikkim has to benefit from their conservation. One is that there is an emerging need and emerging demand for ecosystem services converted into commodities, namely the carbon market. There is a global carbon market. Sikkim is also trying to transact their forest carbon in the global carbon markets. There are some challenges. The Indian government has launched a national carbon market where this will be acceptable. And now there is a new emerging field called biodiversity credit market. So all of this is potentially a boon for Sikkim. If Sikkim was able to monetize its carbon biodiversity savings, it could get in excess of 150 to 200 crores a year just as incentive to maintain these ecosystems. One last point I want to mention from a climate resilience perspective, we saw Mr. Sandeep Tambe's talk in the video. I think that Sikkim also gives us a very good sort of a test bed or a sandbox to experiment and see that how investments in ecosystem conservation can avoid the risk of disasters. So in order to value those investments in the future, because right now the problem is that there is no value given to the risk avoidance characteristics of ecosystem. So I think that's another very interesting opportunity.
Between you and Pradeep ji, I want to understand, this carbon credit system and its trading in India is still at a very, very nascent stage. This could be the first test case where states' effort to create a carbon sink and those things could be monetized. So have you devised some way of understanding that how much is the potential and how to basically use this trading platform? So what is the what is happening at your offices?
Yes, in Sikkim, we have already floated what we call the RFP for carbon credit market. So it's close to 1 year. The work is on. So it goes through number of processes. So we have already completed 2 processes. So the work is on. So it's going to take some more time because this is how it works. It's not that you just go to market and start selling the carbon. There's a method of doing this. So we are in the process of doing this. So half the work is already done. So we have already selected the company which is going to evaluate and do the processing part.
In-house, whether have you done some study to understand how much is the potential state has, and then only you can go to the consultants and consultant like Swapan to determine whether your hypothesis is right or whether blending of organic needs to be more pushed. Then only you can strategize your carbon trading platform.
Yes. A lot of work has already been done. When Swapan was there, they also had done some work. And incidentally, I have done a PhD. My PhD work is on Sikkim forest carbon itself. And in the meantime, the Forest Survey of India has also done. But to do it professionally and in a way where the market functions, we have already hired a company called Renew and Terry. They are doing the work on it.
Swapan, if you can tell us before I proceed towards the organic part of the story, how scalable is this Sikkim model? As you have already told us, that it's 1% of the geography, and Sikkim's geography is also very unique. The other states don't have a similar geography, and you work with other geographies. How scalable is this model? And what sort of learnings do you see, coming from Sikkim, which other states can adapt if they don't want to replicate it? In adoption, what sort of, what is your takeaway?
Yeah, no, I think that Sikkim can potentially be a very good test bed for what we want to do in the rest of the country. I think Baichung mentioned something very interesting, that he, as a farmer, in his own field saw a decline in cardamom production when the state shifted to organic farming. There is a lot of studies being done on this. FAO gave an award to Sikkim. They documented some information. ICAR is doing some analysis to document and see that what is the opportunity cost reduction in yield, and for how long is there a reduction in yield, and what is the eventual gain in yield when you shift from an inorganic to organic system. So Sikkim as a state has done that over 13 years now. So first and foremost, the learning that we can draw from Sikkim is that journey. That what was that journey? What was the consequence of that journey? Because I think it's very clear that the government of India is now running an organic mission, a natural farming mission, but there is a lot of clarity that this will have to be phased. If there is yield reduction in some place, it will be compensated from the others. That's one. The second is, some of the systems that we pilot in Sikkim are only replicable in the Himalayan region, but there is a chance for us to do more integrated pilots. I'll end with a very small example. The government of India, through its research institutions, is promoting very heavily the use of bio inputs or inoculants as a substitute to fertilizers. Now, there is very little comparative test cases to see how biofertilizers will work in organic and inorganic areas, because you don't have that much organic area in the rest of the country. So Sikkim could become a very good test bed for us to do those trials, to document, and then replicate.
Dr. N. Palaganam, if you can help us in understanding, Sikkim's organic story is almost a decade old now. So there must be, test beds where you have seen how the trajectory takes shape. Because many of the states which we track on the organic side, since, the models are very hybrid, so they also see the traces of pesticide, fertilizers. It's very hard for them to maintain the organic bit of the story. So help us in understanding that how the farmer's income trajectory, the yield trajectory, how do you see, that those trajectory taking shape in Sikkim? So these are some of the apprehensions people have, that farmers' income may go down because they may not find the premium markets. Second, they think that the yields may go down. So that's why the argument of promoting GM and hybrid variety also comes in. So what is the experience there?
Before I explain your question, one needs to understand how Sikkim went about, and what were the conditions that were in place maybe 2 decades back. Sikkim, it lies in the Himalayan belt, and agriculture in the Himalayan belt is low input agriculture, which means the farmers don't use heavy inputs, or heavy fertilizer use or heavy pesticide use is not observed there. And historically, Sikkim has also done that. Even before we ventured into the organic movement, the farmers of Sikkim were using very little chemical inputs. So the average yield of commodities was less than the national average. When we went the organic way, when the transition took place, the withdrawal of chemical inputs was very less. So if I can give a statistics, the farmers used only 1/10 of the national average in 2003 when this announcement was made. And withdrawing that 10% didn't affect the yield at all. Had it been some other state, for instance, maybe Punjab or Tamil Nadu, where the use of chemical inputs was 80 kg per hectare at that point in time, and withdrawal of 80 kg of inputs would have drastically brought down the yields. It happens, and it will happen if the transition happens from conventional farming system to organic farming system. And in case of Sikkim, it did not happen because the farmers were already using organic inputs, and when the shift took place, the yield reduction was not observed at all. So it plateaued rather than decreasing. Had it been some other situations, there will be a reduction in yield, and this is where the issue is. The farmers don't take it up because of this loss in yield, and he loses revenues or incomes. and he hesitates to go for the organic farming system. So this is where governments can pitch in to support them whenever there is a yield reduction, or compensate them for the losses. And
So
in
I have
Sikkim's case,
also
it's-
read some of the theses, at Punjab Agriculture University, then Haryana's Agriculture University as well, where people are determining that after 3 years or 4 years of consistent organic farming, actually the income starts improving of the farmers, because the yield also stabilizes. But the factor there is that they have to find the market where they can charge premium. So that's why I repeatedly asking you that, is there a government model which is helping farmer to identify that these are the premium markets where you can send your produce. This is the packaging which is required. Obviously certification is there. So how your government plays a role there?
See, if one has to enter into the organic market, so there are certain procedural formalities to be followed. So one cannot, just being an organic farmer, he cannot just launch his product into the market claiming it to be organic. There are procedures to be followed. Even in the organic industry or the market, a buyer also has to be certified organic. He has to be an organic handler. And unless he is an organic handler, he cannot buy an organic product, because he has to sell it downstream as organic. So the chain has to be maintained, or the traceability has to be maintained in this case. So there is, as I said, there is no dearth of demand domestically, internationally. There are buyers who can take or consume your entire production. It's all about following the processes in the organic business, and you have the buyers there. As a government, what we are doing is, I told you that we have shifted our focus from just the production side policy. What I mean by production side is, we were concentrating since 2010 to 15 on getting the land certified. What else? What next? So that was a question we had in 2016. Then we started focusing on creating all those enabling environments for the farmers to market their commodities as organic, by which we have created our own brand, which is called Sikkim Organic, and that can be used only on organic commodities. And we are we are trying to value add our commodities by setting up processing facilities, and we will be marketing them as Sikkim Organic. And there are procedures for even packaging, for labeling, which needs to be followed. So if the entire system is understood, there are buyers. They just lap your commodities.
Thank you, thank you. I'm actually fan of the tea which comes from Sikkim, very flavorful. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Budh Singh ji, I am giving you the last word to you. With same passion, tell us what other food you eat other than kiwi.
Other than
And I also want to hear the health benefits of that fruit.
yeah, kiwi. Kiwi is the just I'm trying. Kiwi is the best of the best for the
Other than kiwi, sir, I don't want to hear the
Sorry,
word kiwi.
other also there is apple also go, but kiwi is already there is a Newton very.
Budh Singh ji, you are sitting in Delhi. Here, mango is the king, not kiwi.
Yeah. Also,
And
sir,
thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for your time, and it was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Over to you, Sonali.
Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing how development and sustainability can go hand in hand. May I request now S. Sahaya Ranjit, Managing Editor at India Today, to please come on stage to present the token of appreciation to our esteemed guests.